Hi again, and welcome to Leap of Faith Life. I'm Azar, and I'm so glad that you guys are checking in to see what mudras are and how they can benefit your health, your emotions, your life. And then I'll also have some links to other videos below to go over certain mudras. But this is just a baseline. Why are you doing mudras? Why are you interested? What is the background? What are the benefits? Mudras are a gesture or a symbol or a position of your hands, a seal. So if you think about how we use our hands day to day, a lot of times it is a seal. When you are shaking your hands, this is shaking hands with another person, perhaps to make a deal or to seal in something that you are agreeing upon. It's happened a lot in business. And it's also a symbol of love. So while they are typically found in Asia back in historical times and references, there are references to mudras being used all over the world. So an example would be in the Nordic history when Christianity was spreading. A way that the Nordic people were worshiping used a lot of hand gestures, and Christianity later adopted some of these symbols, such as when speaking to the divine. That's a very tiny example, but again, it's referenced and used all over the world in lots of different time periods. Now, Buddhism and Hinduism use this more commonly. You'll see this in common works of art. You'll see the Buddha holding different symbols, or within Hindu artwork as well. But again, just like every culture has their own greeting or expressions of love and hate within the hands, so do exist mudras and their history of using them to speak within the body, speak within the emotional body, healing, and speaking with the divine. So I relate this to body postures, and I've also heard this related in many other different texts, that we hold our bodies in certain positions in yoga, for example, to elicit different benefits, different releases, different health benefits. It's the same with mudras and utilizing those in the same way that you would utilize going to a yoga session. You're placing your hands in different various methods to elicit health benefits, emotional benefits, physical benefits in the same exact way. It's often said that flexibility within the hands tells you flexibility within the body as a whole. And this really makes sense. If you want to try this as an exercise, just spread out one hand as wide as it can go. And you'll notice, for example, in mine, these two fingers, they don't get as wide as, as these two fingers do. These could even go further, but this is what my range is at this point. Now you might have something completely different. Maybe these hands don't quite separate apart. And you'll notice that when you're trying out various mudras that, this finger might go a little bit further back than this one does compared to the left hand. That's just flexibility as a whole. Each one relates to different parts of the body, emotionally and physically, organs, parts of the brain. It all tells a story of your health, your emotional, physical health. So I think that's a really beautiful way of looking at it, and it's a fun, gross, you guys, you didn't tell me I think it's makeup on my hands. It tells a story, and that's a really cool thing that you can look at the health of your body and emotional state through the health of your hands. That being said, the first time that you try certain mudras, you might only be able to do them for 30 seconds at a time, versus when you keep doing them and keep practicing, just like when you keep stretching, you'll be able to hold it for 5 minutes at a time. Not to say that that's the goal, but that's to say that's reflective of your health in the hands and the body overall. So again, in the beginning, you might need one hand to keep your hands in a mudra, and the other hand is keeping the shape. And then slowly over time, maybe you're able to release and you're able to do it with both hands. I would recommend being really gentle though when you are starting out trying different mudras, because they are ways of eliciting health. They are holy, they are special, they are, sacred to your body and to what you're trying to evoke. So if you are trying to evoke, mental health, mental clarity, be really gentle with your hands and know that Pushing that is going to be the same way if you ran, 2 miles further than you should have. You're going to be really exhausted, tired, sore. Same in the hands. You want to be really gentle and specific with what you're trying and how often you're trying and how long you're trying. Mudras can be done at any time. So you can be waiting in line at the grocery store, you can be meditating, seated, standing, in the shower. You can do them anywhere that you've got access to your hands, which is really beautiful because if you are someone that's, for example, sick in a hospital bed and you can't move very much, but you can move your hands, you can be doing mudras, or you can have someone else move your hands, you can be doing mudras. That being said, you want to make sure that you are also practicing silence versus noise. So for example, if you are sitting in front of your computer or TV watching Netflix and you're like, oh, this is a great time to hold this mudra, know that there's a difference between silence and being a little bit distracted. And not to say that it's not good, you shouldn't do it, just to say there's difference in setting an intention, maybe visualizing, maybe practicing with breath, and being more focused. So just make sure that you're getting a balance of maybe doing it in front of Netflix and doing it while you're meditating. When is the best time to practice mudras? It's said that in the morning or at night, and typically usually right away if you're going to have a meditation practice, or if you have a meditation practice, they talk about that being good to do in the morning. It's great to do that first thing right off the bat. It's also good to do before or after meals. When you're traveling or walking, it's nice to get a walk in every day if you can, over your lunch hour or when you get home from work or school, or to just kind of get a little pick-me-up. Instead of a cup of coffee, you go for a quick 10-20 minute walk, or if you aren't able to walk, you treat that as your walk by either somehow getting outside or just sitting and doing the mudras as your way of kind of that mental refresh. How long should you practice mudras for? There's lots of different advice here. I say wherever you can fit it in, however long you can fit it in, that is perfect. Some say that to elicit the certain health or emotional benefits that you need to do it for the emotional benefits. Some say to do it from 3 to 30 minutes a day. Now you can break this up into various different points, so maybe in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, but kind of building that up slowly over time. And again, the longer you can hold it, then the longer you end up practicing that. So for some of the physical benefits, it's been said to do it for 45 minutes at a time. Now, that doesn't have to mean that you sit down and do the mudra for 45 minutes. It can mean you do 15 minutes at a time when you're on the bus on the way to school, when you're watching Netflix, and then maybe for your morning meditation, 15, 15, 15. Again, this is whenever you can sneak it in. Don't let this overwhelm you, and don't let this be that I have to do it this way. Just know that the longer you can sneak it in and the more that you can sneak it in, it's going to be better. It's the same with any type of physical exercise, where if you go for a 5-minute walk versus a 20 or 30 or 40-minute walk, it's going to be a little bit better for your health and losing calories and just your mental clarity if you're able to do it a little bit longer. To really increase the benefits of the mudra, it's good to incorporate a breathing exercise, perhaps pranayama, as well as visualization and affirmation. So doing these 3 things while you are practicing the mudra can make this almost a superpower. You're turning everything up, but it just helps the healing process overall. There's so much we don't know about the body and mind connection, about the power of mind. If you think about placebo effect or even nocebo effect, about how our bodies can heal and affect just based off of our mind power. Visualizing and using affirmations can be really powerful when you're already holding a very powerful healing gesture. So there are different associations with the fingers, with the different elements, and as well as with the different chakras. So this is the water. This finger is related to water, and that would also be related to the sacral chakra. This finger is related to earth, which is then also related to the root chakra. This is the ether or the heaven finger, and it is the throat chakra. This Index finger is related to air as the element, and that's related to the heart chakra. And this is the fire finger, and it is related to the power chakra or the solar plexus chakra. There is so much other information that I could give you guys on the mudras, the benefits for health, for mental well-being, and I would invite you guys to read. This is one of my favorite texts on the chakras. I was going to say on the chakras. There is information on the chakras in here, but this is one of my favorite books in relation to the mudras. It's Yoga in Your Hands, Mudras, and the author is so knowledgeable by talking about the health, emotional benefits, going through the hands and the different areas. There's lots of different ones, acupressure, talking about the chakras, talking about the earth elements, and then has just a plethora of different mudras that you can do. So I definitely recommend this text. But again, this is your own journey. So look up any different videos, look up any other books that might resonate further with you. This is a huge thing that'll take you to the next level as far as your health and healing, especially if you are in the process of not being able to move, maybe you're healing from surgery, or maybe you've tried everything to get rid of anxiety. There are so many different benefits, there's so many different ways that this has helped people, and there's so many cool stories. Again, in this book, she talks about different ways that this has affected people's emotional health, and then also just their physical health, not just their physical health. And the different ways that people have done that. So I encourage you on this journey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave any questions that you have down below for the community. I am Leap of Faith Life on Instagram, and like this video if you'd like to see more on mudras. Until next time, you guys, you are healthy, whole, and complete just as you are. Good luck on your leap of faith, and thank you guys.